As the human civilization progresses, and new technological innovations propel us to unprecedented horizons, the world is changing at a faster pace than we can notice. Every day, something new occurs, and there is no telling what tomorrow brings. As the decade comes to a close, many of us wonder what the future holds for us. So, what's your vision for 2020? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The Earth as we know it will be gone.
With the way humans are treating the planet, we can't even be sure there will be a future to look at.
Ever since World War II, America has been one of the leading countries in technology, innovation, etc. So now that the future is looking dark, who do you look towards to see it again? The youth.
Today's youth, Gen Z, has more than one world to live in. With the invention of the internet when they were babies, many find this to be their second world. But within the internet, the distance between the generations has become even bigger than before. We spend too much time on those pesky iPhones. They can't even look up to smell the flowers.
And I oop. But contrary to popular belief, today's youth is doing so much more than just creating TikToks or photoshopping pictures.
Today's youth carries the weight for the fight against climate change.
Our wave is created from the project called Water Campaign, Grades of Green Water Campaign. So our goal this campaign was to raise awareness on the sheer amount of single-use plastics we use on a daily basis.
People in the younger generation see more of its discussion and the evidence for it. People of the older generation are probably keener to dismiss it and also think it's not going to be their problem later on in life. So I think it's probably beneficial that everybody does pay attention to it a bit more.
Many people today believe that climate change is a hoax and that it is a scam from the left wing to impose more control on the lives of common people.
A lot of people, the minute that they say how they feel about a certain environmental issue, it's almost like you already know what their party affiliation is. So it seems we're at the point now where some people just automatically disagree with a certain person just because they already know what political party they're from. And I actually was reflecting on that this morning, that I want to give some nice eco gifts to my neighbors, but I have very ultra-conservative neighbors, so I'm wondering if they're going to look at it as, here we go, stupid liberal eco issues again.
One of the most overlooked of those signals is the enormous amount of heat accumulating in the oceans. As CBS News reported last week, recent revelations have been particularly alarming. We know that more than 90% of the excess heat trapped by our greenhouse gas emissions has been absorbed by the oceans. Visualize the power of a detonated Hiroshima-style atomic bomb. Imagine its classic mushroom cloud erupting into the sky. Imagine all of that energy from a Hiroshima-style atomic bomb captured as heat, pure heat. Now imagine 4 Hiroshima-sized atomic bombs exploded every second. Every second. That is the equivalent of the excess heat going into our oceans because of climate change.
There are over 3/4 of Americans agree that we should stay in the Paris Agreement, and 60% of those are Republicans.
And Nick Loris, why did the Trump administration, why did President Trump as candidate, and why has the administration said we need to be out of the climate agreement?
Yeah, mostly because of cost and lack of climate benefit. If you look at the regulations that would have been imposed by the Obama administration as well as subsequent regulations, they would have direct impacts on families and businesses' energy bills. And you're not just paying more when your electricity bill comes in the mail and more at the gas station, because energy is such a critical component of everything we make and everything we do. We pay for all the goods and services you're paid for. So that has a huge negative ripple effect throughout the economy, disproportionately hurting low-income Americans who pay a higher percentage of their budget on energy bills. And from a climate benefit standpoint, this protocol is effectually meaningless.
Things on the environment happen at scale. They don't happen to the individual. And that's really the point of a government system, is to help manage large-scale problems. And things like the environment are something they need to help regulate and manage. They all need to make sure everyone maintains their fair share and does their fair duty towards the big picture. Just the general air quality, global warming, the pollutants that are being put out. That's the issue, again, when it comes to scale. That everyone is outputting pollutants, and the biggest issue is that everyone tries to blame the consumer on that. They always, the straw thing is a good issue, but that's not the big problem. The big problem is in manufacturing and factories and things like that. There's tons and tons of pollutants being output, and people don't ignore that, and they go, oh, you should go vegan, that'll solve the problem.
So, for now, with how people are treating our planet, the future isn't looking too bright. It's already a little too late, but we can still try our best to minimize our negative impact on the environment. How do you want to see the future? And what are you going to do to realize your vision?